Hello everyone, welcome to HIM 216. In this lecture this is the first lecture for Chapter 3, and we're actually in this chapter covering the ICD-10 format and conventions, and we'll be using the 3M Integrated Codebook for these lectures, and so you need to learn how to access and use the codebook. So to begin with, in Blackboard, under Web Links, you have a link to the Integrated Codebook for ICD-9 and ICD-10. We won't be using ICD-9, but it is included in the Integrated Codebook. And when you click on this link, and when I click on it, it's actually going to open it up for me because I have it saved and the password saved in there, but your username will be either GVL001 or 002, and the password is AHIMA pound 66, and that's in all caps. So let me click on this, and usually it would pop up and ask me for a username and password, but it doesn't do that. And honestly, I've saved this as a link. I can't even figure out how to log out. I was going to log out and then show you how to log in, but I can't even figure out how to log out. But when you open up 3M, this is the initial page that you're going to see. Now you're going to want to go through here and complete tutorials. In this PowerPoint presentation, I've included those slides to show you exactly how that will work. I'm just going to go through it real quick. You click on Help, and then you go down to Contents. And of course they have to change this thing consistently. And then under Contacts, we're going to go to Other Product Resources. And when we click on that, you'll see CRS Training. We're going to click on that, and then when we do, you'll see that there are a series of tutorials. The one in particular that I want you to use is number 12. You can go through all of these tutorials, and it actually will show you how to use the encoder, but I'm going to tell you, if you don't know how to code, you're not going to be able to use the encoder because it uses coding logic, and if you don't know the coding rules and guidelines, you can't appropriately make choices to get you to the right code. I can always tell when students have used the encoder because they have a code that is completely off base. And when I ask them if they use the encoder to get that code, and they tell me yes, then I'll remind them that they really do need to know how to code before they begin using the encoder. So we're going to go back into the PowerPoint presentation, and when you go through these slides, the coding and reimbursement system looks like this when you open it up, and again, you're going to choose Help, and you're going to choose Contents, and then you're going to choose, well, I've got Other Introduction to CRS Software here, and then Other Product Resources, and then you will go through those tutorials. But I just want to point out to you that to get into the Integrated Codebook, you are actually clicking on this red box that has a 10. When we look at these icons across the top of this screen, this stack of books is resources, and we'll go over those in detail in another lecture. This that says DX, this is actually ICD-9. Do not accidentally go into ICD-9. The codes are completely different. It's a different classification system. We are going to go into ICD-10, and this is the red book that has the 10 on it. And so that's the icon that you will be clicking on when you're going into the Integrated Codebook. When you open up the Integrated Codebook, it will look like this. You can see that these codes are alphanumeric. In ICD-9 they are not. They are only numeric. So if you don't see alphanumeric codes when you get into the Integrated Codebook, you'll know that you have picked the wrong codebook. And actually, that's the end of that PowerPoint presentation. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the integrated codebook. Again, this is what it looks like when you open it. And when we're going into the codebook, we're going to click on this red 10. Now, I want to make something very clear here. We have not asked you to buy an ICD-10-CM or an ICD-10 PCS codebook because you have purchased an access code for the eHIM Virtual Lab. This electronic codebook is like an e-codebook. It functions exactly the same way as a paper book. But instead of sitting down with the paper book and trying to look up a code for appendicitis, we can do it electronically. So instead of trying to thumb through an index and look up appendicitis, we can do it electronically. When you're using a paper book, the first section of the book is an alphabetical index, and then the second portion of the book is a tabular. They're not side by side like this. Literally, the index is first, and then you have the tabular. The index is alphabetical. It's an alphabetical index. And we can see that the code for appendicitis is K37. And when I click on that code, it takes me to the tabular, and I have to click on that code and verify my code in the tabular. One of the most important things you do as you are coding is you find your code in the alphabetical index and then you verify it in the tabular, and that's just what we have done here. As you go through the tutorial, it will show you that it will follow you as you type in terms. So for instance, if I'm looking up plague, I don't have to type in the entire term. Plague is highlighted in blue, and so I can see the different types of plagues, and I can click on the underlined code, and it will take me to the that term in the tabular so I can verify it. There are many other things we do in this process, and we'll get into those in other lectures. Now, if I misspell a word, do you see how that line turns pink? So you have to spell correctly in the alphabetical index. If you are looking up a term and you misspell it, you'll get a pink line, and that's how you know that you have misspelled the term. So with this brief introduction, I want you to go through the tutorial. It goes into more detail on how to use this, and then in future lectures I'll actually be logging in to 3M and taking you through the code book. But this information will get you through the initial assignment that you have for the tutorial on 3M. Once you have completed that assignment, you will enter a statement saying that you have completed the tutorial, and that is how you will get credit for this assignment. Please let me know if you have any questions.